to another video. I am Ramona, and this topic is going to be, what is the biggest secret you know about somebody else? Some of these should be interesting. Some of these probably are going to be a little more catty than we think, but hey, it's fun to listen to, right? So the first one, I know that a friend of mine has a fetish for women who pee their pants. That's pretty weird. Wow. Well, if I said anything, it wouldn't be a secret anymore. That's very true. They cut, not to pry or anything, but did they ever consider getting help? She told her parents, and that's pretty much it. She stopped cutting, but she still gets the urge to. I wish her luck. Thanks. His father and grandparents don't know he has a 4-year-old son. Oh boy, that's a lot. Is the child yours and his? Why doesn't he tell them, and does he plan to? It is mine and his, and at first it was the excuse of his father won't pay for college, and then it was, well, let's wait until he graduates from college. He now has. For his grandparents, it was, well, Grandma has a heart condition. Let her come out of that first. And then it was, let's let them see if he's in college and has a plan. After that passed, no more excuses were even made because I don't even bother asking anymore. But a first grandchild and their first great-grandchild in a line completely unknown. And that's sad. Yeah, usually everybody suffers a little bit, but the kid is usually the one that suffers the most. A friend of mine is male to female transgendered, and her boyfriend doesn't know yet. That's pretty big. How long have they been together? That's not it anymore. Wow. Okay. They've been together almost a month. No sex yet. She said she will tell him before then, but when that is, I don't know. That's going to be an awkward conversation. I wish them both the best of luck. Wow. That one, yeah. And now that's a tough one. You should tell him like ASAP. The longer it takes, the more things could go awry. That's very true. Honesty and communication is very important in relationships, and they seem to not be following that. So, goodness. This person says, I know their war record, Vietnam, was fabricated to avoid implication in the My Lai massacre. Wow. My neighbor has been married to his wife for 20 years, and for that entire time, his wife has been cheating on him with a previous boyfriend lover. I know I should tell him, but he is so blissfully unaware of her affair that it would only do harm to tell him. He is so trusting, it would break his heart and destroy his little world. His wife is caught between her lover and her husband because she loves them both and does not want to lose either of them. The worst part of it is that their son is actually fathered by the lover, and he is being raised by my neighbor as his own. He loves that boy with all his heart and is raising him just to be like him. It might not be the best path for the boy, but he is taking to it pretty well. I have decided not to be the one to tell him, but rather let it work itself out over due time. Wow, that's a tough situation there. Yeah, when my wife found out, she almost told him, but after seeing him and his son together, seeing how happy they were, she could not do it. From that point on, it's the best case scenario if the wife breaks it off with the lover and just acts like nothing ever happened. Yeah, but after 20 years and a kid, I don't think that's going to happen. I understand their reasoning and their purpose, and obviously I don't know the whole situation. No one does. But lying to somebody that you're supposed to love and respect and take care of and stuff, lying to them for this long about this many things, that's kind of a shitball move. Just saying. Okay. I've got news for you. She's been cheating for 20 years. She doesn't love her health. See, this is a continuation. And for that matter, doesn't love the other guy either. She lusts after the ex-lover. I'd tell the husband that's just me. The fallout may suck, but maybe one day he'll thank you. Yeah, honestly, living that kind of lie with that kind of falsehood. The whole, oh, she loves them both. No, she's trying to cover her own ass. That's just, that's not cool. Next story. A friend of mine got extremely drunk and ended up receiving butt sex from another drunk guy. No one knows except the two of them and me and one other person. Neither of them are gay, but if it ever got out, I would probably be blamed. They would probably lose a lot of friends and respect. But neither of them are gay. Butt sex. Why would you be blamed? I'm assuming because there's so few people that know that they could very easily figure it out. There is a girl I know who admittedly I'm quite attracted to, and I found her Reddit username. It is so addicting, I cannot look at it and see what sorts of posts she's writing. Needless to say, they are all pretty personal and secretive. Can you blame me? Edit. Just to put a few minds at ease, the girl in question announced on her Facebook something like, just made the front page of Reddit, and I saw a post with a username that referenced her real name. No, she doesn't post to Gone Wild, but I'll give her upvotes when possible. Well, that's a big, huge secret. In the 1990s, a friend of my then boyfriend's died. He was distraught over it. A few months before that, the friend told me he didn't know what I saw in my then boyfriend. So basically, my ex is deeply mourning this guy who thought he was a piece of crap. Even though we've been broken up for over a decade, I still think about that. I still talk to my ex occasionally, and I'll never tell him. I've never told anyone, actually. But since there is no chance my ex would ever find out my Reddit account, I'm going to enjoy getting this moment of openness. Edit. Many responses in the same vein as, the guy wanted to date me and that's why he said it. I should have added the friend was almost 20 years older than us, and he was gay. My ex did not have a father figure, and somehow he projected some of this need for a dad onto his friend. At least that was my interpretation of the friendship. More of a mentor-apprenticeship in the music scene. He definitely did not want to date me. He was very much Allen Ginsberg type in all ways. I know a friend of mine who just had an abortion. She told me that she was very drunk. I don't even think she remembers telling me. A few years ago, a friend of mine was in a bad relationship, got pregnant, had an abortion, told the guy she miscarried. She's gone through a couple of relationships since, but I don't know more than one that I or another friend are aware of what really happened. When one of the doctors at my facility said he decided to focus on his true passion of teaching, what he really meant that administration allowed him to step down after one of several nurses he sexually assaulted finally had the courage to say something. Not much of a secret anymore, but here it is anyway. My mom had been cheating on my dad, and he caught her about 20 minutes ago when my brother's iPhone connected to her phone and was able to view the entire conversation between her man and then between her and the man she's been with. Ooh. That's got to be rough. An old high school friend was drugged and molested for a few days by some crazy black guy in San Francisco. He managed to escape, but was so disoriented he ended up having to pass out by a nearby park and woke up to the friendly faces of the San Francisco Police Department. He's only ever told 3 of us about it. I know who Dan Cooper is. Things about my ex-husband that I'll never tell anyone, despite the fact that he sent out a massive email to all of our mutual friends about 6 months after we were over, detailing all the things he believed were awful about me. I don't know what he wrote. I'm assuming it's all the things you tell your partner and never expect them to repeat. I did confirm that one of the things he revealed was a potential psychiatric diagnosis that ended up not being the case in the end anyway, but he didn't know that, and that he calls me a monster. The interesting thing about this experience is that even though I'm still haunted by what he potentially said, my friends have been incredibly supportive through it all, and it has reflected badly on him, not me. Sounds like you have some awesome friends. I've been so grateful at how amazing they've all been through this whole thing, and as one of them pointed out, we all knew I was a bit crazy. They just didn't really care. Those are good friends. My friend is a Christian married. She has cheated on her husband multiple times with the same guy. She got pregnant by the same guy 3 times and aborted all 3 times. She found out her husband cheated on her but doesn't want to get divorced because that's not Christian. Wow, that's some double standards there. I know who let the dogs out and have kept this secret for over a decade now. That's awesome. Great self-control there. I'm very proud. Someone who has elbow herpes didn't even know that was a thing. A friend is back with her scumbag manipulating coke-dealing boyfriend again. She has been hurt more times than I can count, and he originally got her on coke. They have been on and off again for 6 years, and none of her friends like this prick. No one knows but me. That my friend had a 3-way with her boyfriend and his friend. She knows I know this, but he doesn't know. I have a female friend who is actually the booty call of an A-list male celebrity nearly every time he is in town. He is publicly single, so that was not the juiciest gossip ever, but she thinks no one else knows when several of those in her circle are actually aware. friend who was once had a dog which he loved dearly. I have another friend who did work experience at the local vets. The work experience vet was asked, in a total act of malpractice, to administer an anesthetic to this friend's dog, massively overdid the dosage, and killed it. That friend that owned the dog doesn't know. My friend actually pooped in his girlfriend I'm supposed to be on his girlfriend's forehead. So she got home from the local bar. Girlfriend was sleeping on the couch, and for some reason, he decided to fart in her face. Once he let the fart rip, he said to himself, that was not just a fart. As predicted, it was not. He got some paper tissues and wiped it off, never told anyone about it, and me got really drunk and told me. I've known his girlfriend since they started being a couple, so I consider her a friend. I'm aware it's something better left untold, but I still feel like sharing this with this whole situation is funny. I mean, why in the world would he fart in her face in the first place? Not like anyone was around to laugh with him. My grandpa doesn't know this, but his cousin is also his sister. My great-grandpa cheated on my great-grandma with her sister, and they had a baby. My great-grandma told my mom once, out of the blue, when she was getting old and senile. They were never going to tell him. How messed up that would be to find out at 84. Plus, his cousin's sister currently has lung cancer, so it's already tragic enough. Yeah, in some cases like that, I just don't know if it's been held that long. Is there a point? And I guess maybe closure at the very end. But you have to know the people, and you have to decide what's best for letting the people know. I think I have just the answer for Reddit. Can I put the TLDR here? If so, here it goes. I found out my aunt and cousin were having an incest cheating relationship. About a year ago, I went to Mexico to finish up my immigration process. While I got there to meet my extended family, including my cousin Eddie, who is probably the grossest human being you'll ever meet. It was no secret that he would go months without showering. He is also an alcoholic that would often be found out passed out in the streets of a small ranch where he lives. I also got to meet my Aunt Marta, who was the nicest, most awesome drinking buddy you can think of. We would often drink 40s together, hang out, and generally just shoot the shit. She is super funny and has a loud, thunderous laugh, and is generally a blast to be around. However, she is also very dark, short, fat, and very ugly. That's a big part of the story later. Well, one night I stayed over at my aunt's while getting too drunk to go back home. It was a semi-big party and Eddie was there, as well as many other cousins. I went to sleep just a little bit after the party was dead, but my aunt and cousin Eddie were still drinking and generally making a ruckus. Come next morning, I get up to go to leave, and this house is fairly small, and on my way out, I go by my aunt's room. The door was open just enough for me to look inside, and I see that Tia, Marta, and Eddie are getting it on. I kind of froze, and I guess I must have made a noise because the next 2 seconds my eyes and my aunt's had met. We stared at each other for what seemed like an eternity, and then I left, not entirely sure of what I had just seen. A couple of days later, I saw her in town, and she told me that this had been going on for the last 5 years. She begged me not to tell my uncle. Sorry, I forgot to mention that she is married to my mom's brother. She explained that their marriage has been dead for a long time now, but she can't leave him because she was only 15 when they got married, and she has no skills to provide for herself. Eddie has given her back a part of her that she thought she had lost forever, her womanhood. I still hang out with her, and even though that happened again after the time that I witnessed, I ended up never talking about it again. I figured it was not my business. Plus, my uncle is kind of an asshole. He's a raging alcoholic that is also a workaholic. Go figure. He never spends any money on the necessary household expenses and doesn't give a shit about my aunt. He only kept her around so she could take care of the women's work. They're divorced now. I don't think he ever found out about my aunt and cousin's incest cheating. This may sound messed up, but in a way it's kind of nice to see my aunt be happy, even if it was really such a messed up way. That's wow. The guy living above us owns a few tarantulas. My significant other is absolutely terrified of spiders. She would absolutely lose it if she knew. Probably going to try to get us to move now. A manly, macho, homophobic guy I work with utilizes the glory hole at the local bookstore on a regular basis. My friend pooped her pants. She has sex with her German Shepherd mix. She's basically in some sort of imagined relationship with him. I thought she just really bonded with him. I've never seen anyone go above and beyond for their service dog. Isn't that kind of illegal? Yes, I believe it is. Most states. A friend of mine drinks his own. I only know this because his girlfriend told me that he insisted on drinking it after they slept together. I didn't ask. I know some deep stuff about my ex-girlfriend's mom and what she did on a repeat basis behind her dad. According to my ex, her parents' marriage is under such deep shit that exposing such stuff can break the family apart. A friend of mine was R'd by my best friend's older brother. The girl who was a victim to the R passed away and unexpectedly last February, and every time I'm at my best friend's house, I just want to claw her brother's eyes from his head. A lesbian friend of mine told me that she's walking back home from college a while back, and she was chased by some guy when it was dark out, but she made it sound like she got away. However, I was watching over her when she was really drunk the other day, and she told me that she'd actually been R'd and had an abortion without anyone knowing. I live on the East Coast, and 3 good friends live on the West Coast. We all hard-working, decent, married guys. They live on the West Coast because back in the day, they ripped off a major drug stash and had to get out of town real fast. The money they took, along with the drugs, financed their new lives for each of them. Only they and I know the truth of how they got to where they are. I know my best friend didn't graduate high school. Source: I helped him fabricate his credentials to get into college. We all went through the college with degrees now and fulfilling careers. It took him a bit more work to graduate, though, and when it got tough, I would wonder if I did the right thing to help someone not prepared for college to get in. Oh well, water under the bridge at this point, I guess. A kid went to the middle school and high school that was killed pretty tragically a couple of years ago. Everyone celebrated his life, talked about how great of a kid he was, etc. However, he dated one of my best friends and did monstrous, abusive, disturbing things to her which only me and a couple other people know about. It was very difficult for me to figure out how to react to his death, especially with everyone around me mourning his great personality and life. Well, the correct reaction is to be happy that your plan to have him killed succeeded. Wow. I'm secretly straight. My parents want me to be gay. Well, shit, that's different. Any reason why? No reply. Oh, wait, maybe there is. I'm having a hard time believing this. Your dad or your other dad? When I was around 15, I actually had this idea for a book. Does your dad happen to be a cinder trying to use your forged sexuality to get more votes? Well, to be obvious, or not to be obvious or anything, but Andrew is really freaking gay. So is Dutch. I know since high school saved another man's life in a parachute jump that went awry. His wife told me that nearly 40 years ago, but made me swear not to tell. Even his parents died never knowing the whole story. He doesn't know that I know. She showed me the citation he'd gotten from the army. The description was some kind of crazy-ass movie script. My best friend had a birthday party at a bar a year and a half ago. Him and his girlfriend get shit-faced, blackout drunk, and fight. She blurts out the fact that he only has one ball while I'm driving them both home safe. They don't remember fighting at all, and now I know something I wish I never did. Me and my friends got really shit-faced a few months ago, and I was talking to one of my friends about something away from the rest of the group, and he told me that his girlfriend, who hangs out and drinks with us regularly, has herpes. I got there late, so I wasn't drunk, as he was at this point, which means he doesn't remember telling me. Thinks he and his girlfriend are the only ones that know. My secret is that most of my married friends cheat on their spouses. It has really made me lose faith in marriage. There are 2. One would be my long-time friend has slept with an ex-boyfriend about a year ago, and her boss recently. She's engaged and has 2 children with her fiancé. The other would be that my fiancé's friend first met his now wife. He said her face was ugly, but her body was hot. She got pregnant, and almost immediately after that, her body is now 100% now. Also, I'm fairly certain he doesn't love her, and I'm pretty sure she knows that part. One of my high school friends once drank another guy's from a glass after a heavy night of drinking. He was really drunk, so he doesn't remember it, but to this day only me and 2 other people know. I don't have the heart to tell him. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Just let that go. My ex-boyfriend said he felt right and more comfortable in women's clothing. Edit, and for the record, no, that is not why we broke up. It's a good enough reason to break up. But okay, we're going to end that video there. We'll continue on with some more in a little bit, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. Listening to other people spill other people's secrets makes you wonder what they're hiding themselves, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for listening and watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, do any or all of those things, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.